live streaming Afterview on Facebook. Later on, we're talking about whether Taylor Swift scared off her ex-boyfriend, Calvin Harris. So post your comments and questions now and we may read them. But, you know, before we go to that, I want to bring up the midlife crisis conversation we were having, which Terry McMillan doesn't want to call it that. But everybody else calls it that.
Well,
basically.
she said she doesn't believe in midlife crises. That's why.
Well, yeah, that was named that. People have a crisis in the middle of their lives, so that's a midlife crisis.
Well, when she said they finally, wake up, I think that point she makes is kind of good. I think you finally open your eyes and are present and look at your life and you're like, how did I get here? Because I feel like we fall into autopilot a lot, and then you look around and you're like, where did I get this wife and 2 kids and a...
I wanted to connect that to the conversation we had earlier of having sex before you're married. That's why maybe you can stop a little bit of a crisis if you, test out your things before you go ahead and only have one partner.
Because a lot of the midlife crisis is about things that you miss.
Yep.
It's about things you miss, but also if you're just testing it out, then you're creating this pattern of just sampling it. Oh, I don't like it, I'm going to move on. There's no commitment at the same time.
I don't know. I've been to a buffet. I sample a lot, and I commit. when the meat comes. I'm like, this is what I want.
Well, you're always gonna miss. You're always one. You just made me hungry. 2, you're always gonna miss something. So I think you make a decision every day with the choices you made. Because when you get married early, you look back and say, oh, you had. Some people say to me, because I got married later, oh, you must have had so much fun. And I look back and I'm like, but you have this great family that you created early, and you had all along. Everyone's looking somewhere else.
You can't win.
Or is it winning, or is it you can't compare yourself to everybody else? You have to do what's right for you.
Yeah.
Is it really?
No, I think you do what's right for you, but I do want to clarify that, honey, I do have a buffet at home.
I didn't ask you.
Your husband.
I'm just telling you.
What did she say?
I have a buffet.
She says that she loves
Shoney's.
Shoney's.
I do have a buffet at home.
Rose, and she's getting her buffet.
I've been married almost 16 years. We've been together almost 20.
she has a
College
buffet at home.
sweethearts.
I guess there's a lot of guys coming in and out of her house.
No, or my husband is just that good.
He's that good. Why don't you send him over to all of us?
Wait, is he not hot?
I have such a crush on Paula's husband.
And
it's a friendly crush.
But your husband also has a crush on my husband.
He does. Your husband dunks the ball. Like, he's an amazing basketball player. He's so cute.
He's good with balls. Basketballs.
We had so many places there, I got lost.
All right, let's go to Taylor. Let's talk about Taylor because apparently, she started talking about having a baby and the next step in a relationship, and he dumped her. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't think it is. Okay. I don't think there is a too early to talk about it, because my husband reminds me I accidentally spoke about kids on the second date. But the point is that when you're sharing what you're looking towards or wanting, it's not in a lame answer where you're like, I hope you're ready for marriage and I want to have babies. But when you're expressing who you are, what's important, where you're headed, it's going to come up. And to me, it was, if it scares him, it wasn't the right one. Like, he didn't get scared. He's now scared. But he's stuck
scared.
around. Like, and I think it's all... part of the communication.
Yeah, but you really should have the conversation a little bit before you get married. How many kids? Some guys don't want to have any children.
You want to line that stuff up.
Yeah.
But when you had that second date with Max, I want to hear how it went down. Did you say I want to have kids with you, or did you just shared your dreams about having children in general?
He's hot as well, so I was open to having kids with him. No, I was saying that, like, in my life, this is how I see it. I'm looking for a committed relationship. I'm hoping to have kids one day, and I was clear on the kids because the guy before him wasn't necessarily decided on whether he wanted to have kids, and that was a big problem for us. It was a long term. So I went in being like, kids first. Let's get that out of the way.
Oh, I see.
Well, I think too. You're at an age. You're older. I don't want to say you're old, but.
No,
But you also, I think you know what you want, and you can put that on the table without it necessarily chasing somebody off. I think you have to be clear
much
with your
younger than
intentions.
me. And
she's 26.
Yes.
Or maybe that's just a setup relationship because he's the biggest DJ and she's the biggest pop star.
I think she's looking for a new way to write a song. That's it.
She's 26, he's 32.
Joy.
So now the next song is about he doesn't want to have my baby, and I'm never going to go out with him again. And, and that's with her next word song.
And then we're going to pay a whole bunch of money to go to her concert, and it's just going to be.
The thing about being an artist, and you know about this, is that you have to have material to write about. So when you start when you're like 12, which is probably what she did, you don't have that much material. When I was in utero, this is what happened. So as you get older, you start to develop material, and that's what she's been doing. She has the talent, and I give her credit.
And she can get all these guys if she needs it. She has a big
but
Bible
she's
of
got to
material.
want them, and she liked this guy.
I mean, he has a nice resume.
But we have some comments coming in about midlife crisis. So Janet wrote, midlife crisis is real and makes you do really dumb things. Donna C wrote, I'm 65 and still haven't gone through a midlife crisis. I have never regretted anything and I don't dwell on what I never had.
Liar.
Don't insult Donna like that. Like,
No, Donna.
Why do you say she's a liar?
I think everybody goes through something, but I love that. Does anybody remember that song by John Mayer? He talks about a quarter life crisis. That's when I had my crisis.
That actually is when it
I was
happened.
25 and I went off the rails.
I had my crisis at 15, so welcome to my life.
Yeah, but when
you
you
go.
actually consider what maturity you were at, considering the business you were in and everything, you were probably like 50.
That's why I'm telling. It just depends on the person. Like I can't even be mad at the woman who tweeted said she never had it because maybe she had the life that she was set out to do and didn't conform or didn't say, you know what, I'm going to date this person because of peer pressure or fall off the soul cycle because of peer pressure. Like that's just what it is.
We should poll the people, our audience.
What
How
do you
many
want
have
to
had a
ask? Go ahead.
crisis?
What do you
Yeah,
want
have
to
you
ask?
guys had midlife crises?
Or a quarter life crisis or
Oh
a
my gosh,
10-year-old
there's
crisis?
absolutely no one in this.
Who has had a crisis?
Okay, so we
Everyone
got one
does.
crisis.
Come on.
You know, what you're describing are crises, but not necessarily midlife crisis.
Or life crisis.
We're
Yeah,
not there
you
yet.
have,
Life
everybody has a crisis at some point, you know, but a midlife crisis. If you live to be 80, you have it when you're 40. That's what happens.
This audience
and men
seems very
have
young.
them.
They
I don't
haven't
care.
hit
I don't care
midlife.
what anybody says. Men at 40 start to wear the banana-colored pants. They start parting their hair under their armpit. They're
that's the
suddenly
car?
wearing a certain aftershave lotion.
Is this when they buy the car?
Then they buy the car,
Corvette back
and they
then?
have a young chippy on their arm. They dump the wife with the kids.
Guma.
It happens all the time. So, and that's around 40, 45,
And now
50.
women are doing it more.
Yes.
Before, I think women kept it quiet. Now women are like, you know what? I don't have to keep it quiet. I'm going to go and be a Kruger and do what I have to do and move on with my life. And that's good.
There's a lot of women that decided at a time where people were deciding to stay home, and maybe it's not always the case. I think a generation of women are saying, I gave up a lot.
Exactly.
And they're getting angry.
And they need
right.
to do that. They
Well,
need to
The
that
women
happens.
that have sacrificed their careers, and they've had, I know a lot of my friends that are stay-at-home moms, they're kind of in that place right now where they got married young, younger than I was, and I was 25. They had their children early, and now they're like, what do I have? Because their children are almost grown, or at least they're in high
They are
school.
superheroes.
They
Because
are
I tried staying home
superheroes.
for 3 months, and I was like, whoa.
You are a superhero.
That is the hardest
It's hard
job.
to stay home all day
It's
with a kid.
very hard. to
I
stay at
love
home.
staying at home.
With the child, it's different.
Let me give you my
Staying
baby.
home. Wait. Staying home and watching Netflix, Raven,
It's
is
fine.
different than
First of
staying
all,
home with a newborn.
Rude.
Second of all, true.
Rude. Actually,
True?
I'm in school.
Yeah,
Let me
she
call you
is.
out your
That's
name.
right.
I'm in school.
I'm sorry.
And I have business to attend to. I have multiple businesses.
You're right.
Let's get not twisted.
That's not exactly just staying
Thank
home.
you very
You're
much. I'm
working.
not just saying-
yeah.
Second, if I had a kid, which I've been wanting a kid since I was 15 because of just the way my mind works, I would love to stay at home and be able to, unlike, and I can only say this from someone that hasn't pushed a human out of my bottom area.
Congratulations.
Well, you
Thank
can
you very
also
much.
get them extracted.
You're
so.
right. That goes with the tummy tuck. That's another conversation. Here's the deal. I would love to be able to raise another human with the knowledge that I've learned at the young age that I learned it. I want to be able to connect with that person because sometimes I don't connect with adults. I just can't get it because I guess of the way my career has been. But I want to have that. I can deal with the crying because I have other friends who have
You'd be a
crying
great
babies.
mom.
I would love to be a mom. And
is.
some people love it and some people don't. You have 3 kids. I would be the same as you.
Yeah.
It's
Trying
hard
to get
be,
them out.
It's that you have to. Most mothers are ambivalent. They love it and they hate it at the
Yeah.
same time.
It's a love-hate,
It's
but-
difficult.
but-
Everything that requires your attention 95% of the
People get
time
irritated
is
after a
difficult.
while, yeah.
Yeah. Ma.
Ma.
I
The
still do.
meatloaf.
Mommy.
I still
love
do
that
that. Is
vibe.
that bad? I call my mom after every single
Well, it's not
show.
adorable anymore.
Can I just
She
say,
thinks I'm adorable, Joy.
Okay, here's a
is
question
real-
from Rebecca in the audience.
You
Where
are
are
good with kids, though, Raven.
We'll go back to
Good
that.
mom.
Where's Rebecca? Rebecca. Yeah, what's your question, honey?
G'day, ladies. I just wanted to know.
Are you Australian?
Sure
G'day, ladies. Go ahead. She's cute.
Have you ever been on a girls' trip without your partners and children? If so, did you feel guilty doing it, or did you feel empowered by doing something for yourselves?
Oh, are you kidding?
you're kidding? I feel so
I went
empowered.
to Florence with 3 of my girlfriends a few years ago. One of them is married to a count, and he owns this palazzo.
Oh,
She's probably
nice.
watching. In the Santa Croce. I went with 3 other girlfriends.
Croce?
I never had such a great vacation. We had the best time. Unfortunately, we were all married, so we couldn't really fool around. But other than that, we had so much fun because you gossip, you shop, right?
What happens in the palazzo stays in the palazzo.
So we had a wonderful time, and I want to do that again.
I mean, with the weekend that I have, we have an annual college reunion with my college girlfriends. There are 4 of us, and we get together, and it's one of the best weekends of the year for me.
Yeah.
And I don't feel guilty necessarily, because I think, you know, working and just being a mom in general, that's a full-time job. Even whether or not you decide to work outside of the home, it is one of the most validating, freeing weekends that I have. When I go out with my girlfriends. Yeah, it's once a year, and I don't feel guilty.
What about the buffet at home?
Oh, honey, the buffet is waiting for me at home, okay?
Yeah, I went away last summer with a group of friends, actually, and I think I didn't have a baby then. I felt guilty for leaving my Chihuahua, but not my husband, because I think for me, Max is better at being with his friends and embracing that, and I'm learning later in life how essential those female friendships and bonds are. And my friend Amy Robach, who wrote a book and had cancer recently, she has pounded it into me how meaningful and life-changing her female friendships, how they've carried her through so much of this. And hearing her say that and tell her little girls, hold on to the girlfriends, you're gonna need them more, over and over. When we were on this trip, it kept coming through that we were just living it up, owning the friendships. I felt stronger than ever. I came back refreshed. It was pretty amazing. Slightly hungover.
Great. What about you?
I was going to actually say, if there's anybody on Facebook that wants to answer her question, you don't forget to post, because we'll read them online right now. I don't have no kids. I'm good. I'll have them, and then I'll answer your question.
And can I say, when she does have them, she's going to be an excellent mom. If you've ever seen Raven around children, she's so good with kids. We went to a movie. You were there, my kids were there, and I was like, I'm sorry my kids are bothering you. They were like, they just kept getting up and making noise. And she was like, it's fine, they're kids. Like, you were so good with children. You're very patient.
I love kids because people
long-suffering.
weren't patient with me when I was a kid. I had to be business-minded the whole entire time, and I'm going to remember that I wasn't able to be a full child.
Yeah.
At child age. So when I have my kids, I'm gonna be like, listen, you forgot your line, it's okay. You don't have to worry about the taxes, because I did it already. Like, I was paying taxes at 3 and I knew about it. Like,
I think that's difficult to grow up like that, because, you know, when you watch a child, like my grandchild, you'll say to him, like, what's the song you learned in school today?
50, nifty,
And I'll say,
United States.
can you sing it? No.
Oh, no.
No, he'll say, no, I don't feel like it. And that's the end of the conversation, you know? But if you're a professional child, you have to sing it.
I used to be
and
on
I
tour.
think that's tough.
I was on tour with strep throat. Guess what? No break.
Is that a rapper, Strep Throat? I was on tour with Strep Throat.
Strut?
Anyway,
She was
Hilda on
Like
Facebook.
iced tea, Strep Throat, get it?
I got it.
Whatever.
I'm listening to you, Rafe.
It's okay. Hilda on Facebook said hello and hi from Debbie on Texas, because we're online and you guys wanted a hi.
That's nice.
My job.
Okay, let's go to Mary in the audience. Where are you, Mary? There she
Hi,
is.
ladies.
Hi.
My question is, what's the most awkward conversation you've had as a parent?
Most awkward conversation we've had as a parent?
Yes.
With our children or with our mothers and fathers? Who?
Just the most
With our,
awkward.
any awkward
As
conversation.
any awkward.
How about this one we're having right now? How about the one I had with Terry McMillan today? There you go. Now that was awkward.
You handled that beautifully. You handled
Next
that
time, Joy, you have to
beautifully.
tell her shade responsibly. We're on TV. Just shade responsibly.
I did. I sort of like that. I like live TV. It's kind of like a little dangerous.
I don't really have a parenting one because my kid's like a minute old, but I do with my own parents. And I remember it was a conversation I had after their door was locked and I was home on a weekend and my siblings were gone and I knocked and I was like, we don't lock our doors in this house. What are you doing? And they came out a little rustled and I was like,
Nice.
I don't want to talk. I feel uncomfortable.
How old were you?
I was like 13. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew I didn't like what I felt like as I knocked on the door and mom and dad were in their pajamas at 5 on a Friday. It was really weird.
What's wrong with that?
Uncomfortable. We still haven't
The
spoken
whole
about it.
idea that your parents have sex is so disgusting.
Now I embrace that as a healthy relationship, but
I encourage my mom to have sex.
I asked my mom if she's
Well,
being
now.
healthy
Well,
because I
I'm
think
talking
it's
about when
good.
you were a kid. It's
You're
like,
right.
what?
The most awkward conversation I had with my mom is when I came out.
Oh, really?
That was.
How did it
that
go?
was hard.
Tell us.
How did it go? So I called my mom and I was like, Mom, she knew about it beforehand, but I never said anything, but she said she knew. And ultimately it went, Mom, my soul is sad. Because I knew anything else that I had said wouldn't have made a difference. Like, I love her. Oh my God, you don't understand. I said that about multiple guys I was in relationships. You don't understand. But I knew that my soul was deteriorating slowly as time went on. And she felt that a lot more than anything else I said. And I didn't say it just to make her feel that way. It came from my heart for once. And I'd fallen in love with many people beforehand. But that was the most awkward one because she was quiet. she's never not quiet.
Yeah.
When was that? When did you have that conversation with her?
Right before I went on Oprah.
What'd you say?
When was that?
So that was right before I went on Oprah. I went on Oprah, and my mom
Oprah
told me
will do
not
it
to
to
do
you.
it first.
Oprah will do it
She
to
said
you.
my grandma's gonna kill herself if I do it.
Well, if she found out at Oprah, then
I was like, so I had
There
to
are
have the
certain
conversation.
people on television that will get things out of you. Oprah and Barbara Walters.
yeah,
Barbara will get it right out of you.
I think the most awkward conversation I had with my kids is when I got pregnant with the third, and my daughter, who's very precocious and curious by nature,
Asked you how
she
it
asked
happened.
me how the baby got in there. And she's 6 at the time. My son was 4, and he's oblivious and still is. And I said, well, you know, we kissed, and she's like, did you dance? And I said, well, you could call it a dance. But she kept asking.
Horizontal
She
waltz.
kept asking. Well, it doesn't always have to be horizontal, Joy. Another conversation. Yeah, I know. But anyway, she came back to me. She came back to me because that wasn't enough to say she knew that something more had happened. So I told her kind of what happened, but I may have used the words like pee-pee and hoo-ha instead of the other, what, you know.
Oh my gosh.
I had to tone it down a little bit.
What
for her.
age do you tell your child about sex?
When they're asking you about it, I think that's the point you have to tell them, because if you are not forthright with them, then they're going to start asking their peers. They're going to start asking
your
kids
kids
in
I
school,
didn't
and I
tell
would
them
rather
first.
my kids hear it from me, and I control the message.
When we were on the beach one time, and my daughter was a little kid, she was like 5, and we were looking at it, but for some reason, I don't know, she must have had a National Geographic magazine, because there was a lion on top of another lion.
do it like they do
You know?
on the Discovery Channel.
That's right.
So she said to me, she said, what are they doing? I said, well, they're making a baby. And she said, well, when you and Daddy do that, do you go, "Arr!" Thanks for hanging around with us after the view. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to hit us up on Twitter and Facebook. Arr!